Hi everyone, it's Christy here. This is the last video with my Heritage album process. So thank you so much for joining me so far. I appreciate all your likes and comments. It's so nice to hear from you and from some new subscribers as well. So thank you so much for that. So here I am. I'm just completing the last like 4.5 layouts. There's 4 double page spreads like this, and then the last page. So I'm just kind of getting through it. So it is quite a bit longer video than I normally would like to upload, but and share because of the length. But I just needed to get it done. So stayed up a little bit late last night just to say that I finished it. The party is this weekend, so I'm glad that it's done. And actually, this week I'll have some time to work on some of my own projects. So I have kind of a fun color scheme for this layout. I really love that bike paper paired with the black and white polka dot. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm running out. I'm kind of torn at this point because I am running low on embellishments, but I also know that this is it. I don't really need to save these up for anything, so I am trying to use as much as possible. I'm carrying on this kind of theme that I have throughout the album. I've done this a couple of times with these square die cut pieces. This one didn't really allow for a hole punch up at the top. It would just cover, I felt like the bow might cover too much of the sentiment, which says it's a beautiful morning. So I hole punched off to the side and added the bow. And I like the way that looks. And I hop around so much, and I hope that doesn't bother you, but it's just kind of whatever inspires me at the moment, or whatever I know I can complete quickly, that's where I'll jump to. So I just hop around, and you know, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I'm kind of all over the place sometimes. So I really love this pattern paper too with the red. There's not a lot of red in the collection, but I really liked the incorporation of this pattern. It just kind of reminds me of the farm a little bit. I don't know why, but it just does. So it fits really nicely with some of these photos that are coming up where they are on the farm. That's the main reason they moved to Canada. They definitely were farmers in Holland, but they moved to Canada so that they could farm here, and the 2 eldest boys could kind of start their own farming adventures. So it fits so nicely with this collection. All right, so I took a piece, I believe, out of there, or maybe I didn't. I don't know what I did. I'm kind of feeling like this color scheme isn't really working at this point. So I was just kind of trying to see if there was any other options. And I am running quite low on paper. So I think I probably felt like I didn't have another 4x6 card that would work. And even then, I'm kind of struggling with the balance of patterns, especially with those 2 florals next to each other. So uh, I'm I'm opting to get rid of that one floral and just use this side of the card instead. So yes, I love these bikes, and because there's the bikes on the right hand side, I thought that I could probably use this sticker. So I place it on the white cardstock and I fussy cut around it, and then I decide it just doesn't work. So don't get too attached to that bike sticker. It does get used in the next few pages though. Yeah, and so I do have quite a bit left over, especially the tiny word stickers, but I do struggle to use these stickers that are clear. I so wish that they were just white already, a white kind of cardstock base. It would make life so much easier. And I wonder, like, I don't buy, I don't, this isn't a collection type that I normally would purchase, or even this brand. I believe it's Pebbles. It's not really a manufacturer that I usually purchase products from, and so I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the clear stickers. Like, are you a fan of clear stickers, or would you prefer a cardstock base? So I go without the bike, and I did end up using that floral with the orange there, and I just used some wood grain to cover the sentiment that says thank you very much. And then I really like this black embellishment, but it's in the shape of like an oven mitt, and I didn't love that. So I kind of trimmed it on that card a bit so that it wasn't so obviously an oven mitt. And I actually really love the way it looks with these maroon or burgundy enamel dots. I really love that a lot. So I'm happy with how that turned out. And I think I'd leave some of these cards blank, which I at this point I'm so done. But I do add this bird house sticker, and I because the pattern paper is lighter, I just kind of try it on there without backing it on the cardstock, and it actually works quite well. So add some more enamel dots, and that side is done. All right, so now we're on this page. I'm just flipping ahead just to see kind of what colors I have coming up, because like I said, I'm going to try and use as much as this as much of the die cuts and papers and stickers and things as I can. So I just kind of want to kind of ration it a little bit to see if there's a lot of blue coming up, then I'm gonna kind of spread it out a bit. But if there was no more blue coming up or yellow coming up, then I could just use it all on this page. So this bright yellow cards or pattern paper is quite different than the other papers in the collection. So I'm trying to tone it down a little bit by bringing in this gray. And for some reason, this gray strip was shorter than it should have been, and so I ended up cutting it in half and just hiding it in behind. And as usual, I'm super clumsy and I drop the label onto the glossy photo, which is catastrophe. So I have to cover up my mistake, and so I just bring out my label punch and punch some of the pattern paper that's also used on this layout. And this card that I'm working on is such a hodgepodge of like everything that I really am not a huge fan as to how it turned out, but it is done. I switched adhesives because, as always happens, I ran out of tape runner working on this album, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and there was no way I was going to go get more. So I luckily had some of this adhesive here, but I'm not loving it. It's not that sticky, so I might have to go back and re-adhere some things, but we'll see how it goes. Keeping it pretty simple too on some cards. I trimmed this photo down. It was a 4x4, but I just trimmed it down so you could see a little bit more of the pattern paper. Layered the label with a scrap label that I had on my desk. Just layered it up, but it still felt a little bit plain to me. So I'm going to fussy cut this lemon sticker out because there is quite a bit of lemons on this page already. I thought, hey, why not add some more lemons? So I actually really like the contrast of the lemons and that black and white plaid, like a lot. So this was a sticker that I put on white cardstock previously and used my circle punch to punch out. The circle punch I had was way too big, and so I just fussy cutted around there, which looks okay from here, but in person isn't that great. And then I'm just trying to find something to pair with this clock, and I found this flower that was just a scrap piece of die cut that I used elsewhere in the album. So just layer those up and add a tiny word sticker, and that is done. And I really like these cut aparts that have the phrases on there. So I used quite a bit of those. I thought I would use the seed packet ones quite a bit more, but it just didn't work out. I think this would be a great collection if you were a card maker, because there's lots of sentiments like thank you and I appreciate you and thinking of you and all those kinds of things. So it's definitely a great collection for card makers, and I think it worked quite well with the Heritage album. Especially, like I said, there's lots of kind of farming motifs, I guess. There's a cowhide pattern paper, which was my least favorite in the whole collection, but I just think the colors work really well for a heritage album. So I'm just working my way through this layout sporadically. I used one of those cut aparts and layered it on some of the yellow pattern paper just to create more of a pop on that gray pattern. And then I just felt like it needed a little bit more black on this side, so I'm just using this 2x6 strip to kind of add some accent to the side of this 4x6 card, just to add some interest to it, something a little bit different, and then layering up these two labels that just identify who's in the picture. And I believe, don't know, yeah, that card's done. I like that way that looks quite a lot. I'm feeling like that blue card needs something else, and so I'm going to use another lemon just to add a pop of yellow, because most of the cards and photos at this point have something yellow. So, and I think I leave that blue floral card as is. I'm coming to terms. I'm doing lots of things, and that's why I really like mini albums. It kind of allows you to do some different techniques that you might not usually do. So, leaving a card blank, not something I normally would do, but in a mini album, yes, I will do that. I have lots of filler cards on this page, and I'm getting a little bit tired of filler cards, so I'm just trying to fill them. And I have these shipping tags that are from American Crafts DIY collection, and instead of placing it up and down vertically, I decide to go horizontally. And then I found this die cut piece that says "Remember this," and I really liked the color and the font of that, so I just layered that on top, added some wood veneer enamel dots, and I really actually love how that card turned out. I'm finding that the pages or the sleeves in these last couple pages are so tight, and I can't really easily get the cards in and out. So if you see me struggling, that's probably why. And I'm not sure why, if it's just like a kind of a defect, or I cut the paper wrong. I don't. That's not possible because it comes from a 6x6 pad. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. So I just trimmed this photo down, and I'm having it sit on a branding strip that has a lot of really nice phrases like spread kindness, I love you, remember this, like that kind of stuff. So I just place the photo on there and call that good. And I'm just going through all my pieces and seeing if there's anything else that I want to use. Not a lot of ephemera pieces in the pack. Well, I've used my favorite ones already, obviously. So it's always really hard towards the end of a project. But I was looking specifically for this star and I couldn't find it. I knew it was in the bowl, I just could not find it. And two, I lost I lost this label when I pulled it out originally, but I did find the label, so that's good. There are, I think, 2 or 3 photos that do not have labels because I lost them or forgot to print them, so I wasn't gonna worry about that. So same thing, this strip of paper wasn't long enough, so maybe I was cutting the paper down wrong from the 12 by 12s. I don't know. So yeah, just cut that photo down so you could see more of the pattern. And then I really love that wood grain paper. Wish I would have got more of that, but all the wood grain patterns in this collection I love, especially the one with the like off-white floral there and the 3x4 card. I really loved that. I love the plaid in the bottom left hand corner, And the black and white plaid was my favorite too. So, all right, because I have a lot of this soft blue in this layout, I wanted to use this bicycle. So I'm going to put it on white cardstock and fussy cut around it. And I do end up cutting off some of the bicycle just because it's a little bit too wide for a 3x4 card, but I do really like the way it turns out. These photos are mostly of my husband's grandpa just working away on the farm. He's there on the tractor, and it looks like he's doing some repairs to a farm building or something there. And he lived to be almost 102, and he was an amazing man. Just worked so hard. Um, yeah, just so amazing, so kind and funny. And so having these photos in there are really special too. And then this is a photo of my husband's grandma, who I can't wait to see her reaction when she's flipping through this album and sees that photo of her in there. I'm sure she's going to love it. But just goes to show that even if you're not looking your best, you need those photos of yourself. So she's here in her nightgown talking on the phone, and I just love it so much. I'm really struggling right now, getting in the photo. I want to be in the photo with my kids, but I'm always the one taking the photos. A lot of the days we're just, hanging out at home, so, we're not all done up. And so I think it's important still, even if you're not looking your best, that you still have some photos. And yeah, I just love that photo. So I did switch out that arrow that said good times. I switched it out for a phrase that was on some brown paper. And I just liked the way that looked a little bit better. And we're almost done. We're on this second last page here. Just keeping it simple. I'm just trying to get it done. So I'm back to 4x6 photos, which I'm so happy about because I don't need to do any extra embellishing. I just add the label directly to the photo and call it done. I wanted to bring some more pink in to the side of the layout, so I just add a little strip of that pink polka dot paper to this card and this little cut apart from the 6x6 pad, and I pulled it up to use my tiny attacher because I'm using the back of the card on the next page, so I didn't want to use my tiny attacher through all the layers. So that's something to be mindful of. And I'm doing that just to save paper more than anything, to stretch the collection. And it also aids in not having it as thick, even though it's still pretty thick. So using a little branding strip there on the left-hand side just to, again, bring in some more pink. And I'm just flipping ahead to see what I'm going to use on the last page. To see. So I'm trying to use this rooster. Doesn't happen. I thought that would be a good photo to use it on, though. It's of my husband's grandpa. He's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and a beer in the air, and he just looks so happy. So I don't know why. The rooster seemed applicable. Anyways, I'm fussy cutting these flowers out and I'm just trying to fill cards at this point. So I'm gonna just attach it onto this card. It's pretty plain, but I do like how it looks, just an extra embellishment. And I lost the label for that bottom left-hand card, but I do end up finding it. I don't have a label for this one. I'm not sure where it ended up, so just adding some tiny word stickers. I wish I'd used more tiny word stickers throughout the album, but I didn't want it to be too many words. So, and a lot of the stickers, again, would have been perfect for card making. They say thank you, hello, thinking of you. So I'm going to use this bike. on this card here. So I'm happy that I used all the bicycles in this collection. I really loved the floral paired with the bike. And I'm just using my tiny attacher again, not stapling through all the layers because of the reverse side. I found myself using my tiny attacher quite a bit in the last half of the album, so I do go back through the front part and add some extra staples here and there just to kind of tie it together a little bit. I didn't use my fringing scissors. I only used them twice, and I'm definitely going to use them in my weekly project life, but it was just adding too much bulk to the album, so I didn't end up using them that often. I'm going to use the rest of this branding strip just to add some more pink to this card and some extra kind of interest and add the heart. I thought about using some thickers to add something to this card, but I just wasn't sure what to say. So I just added a couple tiny word stickers and called it good. So that's it. That's my album completed. I'm so happy to be done, and I'm so thankful for all of you tuning in and watching. I will have an album share and kill a collection video up tomorrow. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye.